In divorce, the court does not rush another divorce. They first give decree-nisi, that is, stay separate first. And when that decree-nisi elapses and they see that, okay, there's no option for reconciliation, they will not give decree absolute. That is the final dissolution of the marriage. The man has access to the children, but the children were in the custody of the wife. So he could visit them, he could take them for holiday, travel. His family, they have this culture, tradition that they travel for Christmas together. So one of those visits that was coming to drop the children and take the children off, he slept over. That's how they reconciled. When they told the lawyer, I'm going to divorce him. Lawyer, we are not doing it again. I said, okay, no balance. Why you are paying my balance? Me, I don't have a problem.
Welcome home. Two hearts, one journey through sunshine and the rain. Years of memories woven tight, joy and hidden pain. But every chapter made them stronger than before. Hand in hand they found a way to love each other more. This is the couple's tale, where love unfolds again. Stories that heal, stories that teach, hope in every word they speak. Sit close, lean in and listen well. This is the place where true love dwells.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are watching us from. I'm still your friend, and this is Couple Strength. Today, there's a very sensitive issue we want to look into, and to me, this issue has become so disturbing that marriages less than 1 month, marriages less than 1 year, marriages less than 2 years, you're already hearing something that has to do with divorce. That several things, of course, would have caused that. But today, we actually want to understand what is even divorce and why should divorce be actually considered. When also should divorce be considered as an option in any marriage? To discuss this with me this day, I have a very good friend of the house. And I mean a good friend, a very good friend of the house. She's someone I know very well, and she's a legal practitioner, and she's good at her work. I will not want to discuss so much or say so much about her. I will allow her to introduce herself by herself. I bring to us today Barrister Osarobo Enwongo-Iwok. In fact, that name is so strong that I need to be sure that I get the pronunciation very well. You're welcome, madam.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I am Barrister Osarobo Enwongo-Iwok. I'm a legal practitioner, and I have a lot of interest in family life advocacy. I'm a lawyer. I've course in Nigerian bar in 2013, and for 12 years I've been in practice. So thank you for having me.
You are very much welcome. We really happy to have you today. I mean, the pleasures are all ours, rather. So I came across something and I said, okay, I'm going to ask you that today.
Okay.
Yesterday was your 12th years anniversary.
Okay, I didn't see that coming. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
I can't see. Yes. So your 12th years anniversary in Bar
Yes, Nigerian Bar.
Nigerian Bar Association.
Yes.
Wow. How has it been so far?
Well, it's been tough, but I can say that God has been extremely faithful. Yeah, God has been extremely faithful. I have no regrets whatsoever. It was, especially in the early days, every lawyer will say to you that the first few years of legal practice is only for the brave. It's tough, but it's one that requires perseverance. If you are able to persevere and push through the teething stages, it's one that you will never regret. So it's that perseverance that is very key.
Pushing through the teething stage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Teaching stages.
12 years. That's interesting.
Yes.
Also, in your post,
you're here for some serious trouble. Okay.
Also, in your post, I read a particular part that there was this challenges you had then, and to buttress those challenges. Like 2 years ago, thereabouts, your mom actually came to apologize to you.
Yes, she did.
As in apologizing for you not accepting or listening to his advice to you, because like she wanted you to study something else entirely.
It was very tough.
Wow.
Because in my family line, especially my mom's side of the family, there's this weird tilt towards sciences. So you have more doctors, or you have a pediatrician, all of those stats. So my immediate elder brother, who was like my role model growing up, were very close. He was doing excellently well academically. So I used to tag along with him. So he wanted to study medicine. His decision was to study me. My parents were like, oh, since you have such a fantastic relationship, why not go for like nursing or do something related to the science field? So that my dad was like, okay, I can give you a property in Benin, a choice area where you, both of you build an hospital and then you can work with your brother. So when I also went to my secondary school, the principal, you know what they do in GS3, at the end of GS3, I don't know if they still do it now. They'll give recommendations and say, go to arts because of your area of strength. Yes. So they recommend I should go to science. So my parents were happy about it. But for me, I didn't want to. My name was actually in science register in SS1. Well, I'll go to art class. The principal will come to me and say, why are you hanging around this unserious set of people? But for me, I had made up my mind early that I wanted to study law. So it was a very big problem. It was the class captain of art class that wrote my name by herself in the register, but with her hand.
Wow.
I'm telling you. So SS1 first term was not funny. Because it's sometimes they change me, like, oh, go to the class of people who are brilliant. What are you doing? Yes. But I fought my way through. Even my parents were not in support. I bought my JAM form to study law myself. It was my eldest brother was the only support system that I had at that time. So he helped me fill the JAM form, So when Rai pursued me, he traveled with me to Uniben. Showed me around the school because he had graduated a few years before then. So that it was the only support I had. So after I graduated, went to law school, my mom came 2 years ago and was like, I thank God that he did not listen to me. He said, I would have misled you.
I imagine.
Yes, said I would have misled you. So that's where we are. So it's been 12 years of, it's been a very dramatic.
Wow. I celebrate you.
Yeah, thank you.
I celebrate, and at the same time, I celebrate some mother too for her bravery. It's not all parents that want to summon that this courage to now come and make you understand their vulnerability. That I actually did not do well then, but thank God you did not listen. And to add to what you said, then I actually remember back then too. It's so common that from JSS3 we begin to teachers have a way of scanning the children.
Yes, they do.
Know the ones that are intelligent.
Yes.
So sometimes it just later now come to understand something that who tells you that the intelligent ones must actually go to science class?
Yes. But I think what they do, from my observation, is that they will check out your subject, the pattern of your. I actually like biology. All of those things, Introtech. I'm somewhere that if I put my mind to do anything, I can do it well. Okay, so because I was a very reserved child, I was not the child that would be playing around, so I always study. So the books were like my solace. I used to take solace in my books, and my elder brother was doing excellently well. So I had somebody to like aspire to be like that kind of a thing. So I think what they do is that they just look at the pattern of your academic performance, and then they recommend. And like you say, they also scan.
Yes.
So this one has prospect. Why not go to this direction?
And you have this calm nature.
Yes, I was very reserved.
That's for the science class.
Exactly.
But those ones are very rough. Playful. Or your art class. You commercial. No, that was. I mean, but good enough that you were able to identify yourself so early. Thumbs up to you.
For me, I don't think it was my doing, really. I don't think I knew what I was doing.
You were doing.
Even my interest to study law, I didn't know much about the law.
Much about it.
I didn't know how vast it was until I went to the university. You understand? I didn't know. I'm not sure I really had the whole picture clearly, but I just had that interest. This is the one I want. I don't want any other one. You understand? So it was when I got to the university, I started figuring it out gradually. And then when I got to law school, I got the whole picture. Okay, this is what this is. And then I now felt lost. Like, who can I speak with? Where will I go? How will I do it? You know, but it's been a very beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey.
Well done.
Thank you.
It's now a success story.
Yes.
I mean, something that one is proud of. You can say again and again.
Yes.
In fact, I'm really inspired. And I'm sure our viewers out there are actually listening.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure one or two people watching now will be wondering. So let me ask what somebody might be thinking of.
Okay.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
You're married?
Yes.
Wow. With kids?
I have 3 children.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
She's married?
Yes, I'm married.
With kids? You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I noticed something when you pronounce your name.
Thank you.
I try to really understand the combination of those names.
Okay.
The first one, Osarobo.
Yes.
It sounds different, and the other one, Enwongo-Iwok. So, I was meaning to ask, those names are for 2 different states.
Definitely.
So, which state are you actually from?
Okay, I'm Edo.
You're Edo?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm married to
Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom.
Yes, my husband is from Akwa Ibom.
Okay. At least now you can now understand the combination of those names.
Yeah.
Okay, you are very much welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
All right. Without wasting much of our time, we really want us to go into our discussion for today. You know, so far so good. We've seen some of us might have heard so many things, challenges concerning marriage. You know, I still heard someone was telling me of recent that this marriage thing is a scam. You know, we hear so many people saying that I'm sick and tired of this marriage. I'm no longer interested again. You know, so many people pushing for divorce. Even it's so rampant now on internet, on social media. You see so many people, some just after a month or two, even some a year or thereabout, they're already campaigning that no, I'm not into this again. I need a divorce, this and that. So I don't know. I said today we should discuss this, perhaps to also throw more light for our viewers to understand. Now, let's start with what's divorce and why should we embrace it? And at what level in the marriage should divorce be considered as an option?
Okay, thank you for your question. You have asked 3 questions, so we'll take it one after the other. So morality, law, and religion is not in every case you find that they align.
Okay.
There are some cases where the law is on its own, and morality and religion may not really agree with its position. So it may not look okay to you. It may not look sound or appear morally justified to you. But if it is what the law says, the courts will stand on it.
Okay.
So when it comes to divorce, from the legal perspective, is a point where there is the simplest way I can present it is like the dissolution, or like when there's an order to put an end or the death of a marriage. So that's what, if you see marriage as a person, and we say there's a divorce, it means that the person is dead. So this divorce means dissolution. Or bringing an end to a union. That's what it means. That's the simplest way I can present it.
Interesting. Taking. So the second question now. In our marriage, at what stage should we begin to consider divorce as an option?
Okay, before I answer that question, I want to put a background to it. There are rules to these things, you understand? And one of the rules, I'm trying my best to make it as simple as possible so that non-lawyers can appreciate the concept. So when it comes to divorce, there are rules to these things. And one of the rules is that you must have tried settlement options. So when the lawyer is applying to the court, the lawyer is coming to the court to say, we have tried everything that is our legal responsibility.
Okay.
We have tried family settlements. We have tried to get professional help. But the marriage has broken down irreconcilably. That means it has broken down beyond redemption. That's the easiest way I can put it. So it is the point where all the other options have been exhausted. Yes. So you can say the marriage is broken down irretrievably, like beyond redemption.
In a situation where the marriage itself was not done in a legal setting.
Okay.
So maybe peradventure it was done traditionally, and we all know what tradition is. Now, is there need for divorce when either of the party is no longer interested in the marriage? So I was thinking perhaps the wife just returned the bride price that was paid on her head. So in such scenario, is there need to undergo the divorce process legally?
Okay, for customary marriage, for instance.
Customary marriage,
yes. Yeah. Like I would say, when it comes to legal issues, we look at every fact on its own, independent. We cannot make a blanket assertion. For instance, it's not every customary marriage that may need to go to court. If, for instance, if husband and wife have a valid customary marriage, the first question I'll ask you, what is the requirement for that culture? What does the culture say? Like for some cultures, the moment the man stands at the door, I divorce you, and throws the wife's pot outside the door, that is the end of the marriage. In some culture, I reject you, verbally said 2 or 3 times, that is the end of the marriage. In some culture, you do not need to return the bride price. So the first thing to know would be, which particular culture are you saying? Okay. The parties that are involved, under what customary law are they married? And what is the requirement for that specific custom? Second side of that question answer will be, are there children involved in the marriage? If there are children, there may be need to go to court over custody, over the welfare of the children. You understand? There may be need to this, especially when the other partner is not willing, is not voluntarily, engaged in the well-being of the children. There may be need to force him to court. For the court to consider issue around the custody of the children, welfare of the children, the education of the children. You understand? I was involved in a divorce. Okay, the last divorce case I was involved in, we had to compel the husband to provide healthcare insurance because the child had some special needs, which was a problem for him, part of the issues he had, you understand? So we had to compel him to provide healthcare. Of course, we approached the healthcare providers as the HMO, and then they have a package for such children. You understand? To be able to meet his needs, proximity of the hospital to the house, and all of those, because emergency needs may arise. So sometimes, if the other party is not willing, it may be necessary to approach the court for issue of custody and welfare of the children. Another thing to consider would be, do they have joint property? Where the parties have joint property, it may make the matter more complex than it should be. Because sometimes when you say, oh, just return the bride price, that's all, there are certain circumstances that may now make that situation necessary for you to approach the court, especially when they are not in talking terms or they are not cooperative among themselves. So it's usually determined on a case-by-case basis. That's why at every point, before you take any step, I would always emphasize that you seek legal counsel. Get your lawyer involved. You know, sometimes pastors, they mean well, but they only most times look at these things from the religious perspective, without putting in consideration some matters that have very heavy weight in law. Issues of husband and wife have joined resources together to acquire properties when there is joint ownership. Issues where we are married, I transfer a property that belongs to me into your name because I want my or something. There may be investments that you've had together. So if the divorce is not, if the parties are not in, you know, mutual understanding, it becomes a problem and we need legal intervention. So like I would say, there's no straightforward answer to that question. The facts around the case, on a case-by-case basis, we determine what the answer will be. So at every point, as I always say, even to church counseling team, have a lawyer that you consult from time to time, so you don't just give a one-sided approach, because most times this thing may, like a coin, may have two sides. There's the head, there's the tail. You are looking at it, of course, God is the head. You are looking at it from the biblical perspective, but what of all the other many legal issues, you know, that you just leave the party to roast? So
thank you. So while you were talking, you said something, and I want us to probably to bring that one out, and if possible, we elaborate it a little. Now, in a situation where we have two parties now involved. Now, one party is not interested
in the divorce. Okay.
So, what should happen? Maybe the man is not interested, or the woman is not interested in the divorce. So, in such scenario, what should happen?
Okay, it will like I will always say, it's on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
If I have a sit down on the facts, there are other issues that I may bring out. Is this person wanting to keep the marriage out of manipulation? Or for their personal integrity or selfish purpose? You understand? But one thing you need to know is that the law, like I say, most times does not look at things from the moral perspective.
Okay.
Yes, there are rules that follow this things. One of the rules is that you cannot force an unwilling party. You cannot force an unwilling party in an arrangement that they are no more interested in. The law will not support that. That's the truth. You understand? Because if it was that important to you, it may not have deteriorated to that extent. You understand? So for me, if you follow me on social media and across platforms, you discover that I'm not a pro-divorce person. I always encourage the parties. There are many ways for parties to settle. And one of the instances that may help, if the other partner is not in a hurry to divorce, you know, is to seek the option of separation. You can, first. Separation works very well.
Okay.
Yes, it works very efficient. It's an option that a lot of people have not really explored. But separation works. There are some people that, humanly speaking, nobody can live under the same roof with them. That's bitter truth. Nobody can live under the same roof with them. Maybe because of they need help. Sometimes it may even be as bad as mental health issues that go undiagnosed, that go unattended to. Because we have a lot of such issues in Nigeria. You know, mental health is not at the forefront. It's until things are overly out of hand that we begin to pay attention. Sometimes maybe mental health concerns, maybe issues that, you know, it's not just practically possible for anybody to live under the same roof. But you can actually, the couple can actually approach the court, like I say. That even in religious circles, it is necessary that the church carry lawyers along. You can say, okay, let's approach the court for an order of separation. Separate, live apart to live apart, because you cannot live apart on your own. Because if after a few years it may become a ground for divorce, because like desertion, like you abandon the home. But there are circumstances where the couple can approach the court and say, my lord, we need, allow us live apart. So the court actually gives you terms and then grants an order for you to live apart. You can live in two separate homes. And maybe I've seen situations where I've been involved in cases where after a while, after some years, the tension dies down. the parties are better able to come back to the table to sort out their issues themselves without third parties even. You understand? I've seen situations where the husband, for instance, just maybe comes, spend a few weekends and, you know, goes on his own. You understand? So there are so many options. It's not just all divorce all the time.
Okay. Okay. Now, still on that discussion, what you're discussing. Now, you said something. At what stage now, for instance, is there any other penalty or legal penalty if one of the party, after divorce, if one of the party is not meeting to his or her responsibility? Because I come to understand that after divorce, okay, each parties are being given, okay, this is what you'll be doing, this is what you'll be doing. Now, if either of them is not able to meet or is not responsible, is not willing to meet up to that, is there any law that actually that will come later, like a punishment or something, or what actually happened if such situation happens?
Several things that can happen. You know, this incident, women tend to fall victim of it the most. For instance, there's a divorce and custody of the children is with the woman. Of course, the law is that you cannot deny their father access to the children for any reason whatsoever. Even if he's a violent person, they can say, okay, supervised visits. Okay, that means the children will be will be visiting, or he is visiting them in the care of another adult. You understand? In the care of another adult. I had a case like that where the woman had to employ a very elderly nanny, matured grandma, as nanny. So whenever their father comes around or comes to take them, he has to take them with the nanny because he has issues of violence. So that person stays as a check to check his excesses. So back to your question as to what happens. You find cases where the woman has custody of the children and then she's denying her husband access to the children. It happens. It's very common. So what can happen? One, she may lose custody of the children. I was involved in a case like that so many years ago, 5-6 years ago now, that the woman was denying access to the son. She did everything, frustrated everybody's efforts, you know, for reconciliation, frustrated everybody. Even the courts had to revoke custody of the child. You understand? You know, so you can lose custody of your child if you disobey the court order, where the court says allow your husband access to the children. You understand? You can even be punished for contempt. Contempt of court is a criminal offense. Some people end up in prison for contempt of court. Sometimes the courts will ask that you are arrested and, you know, sent to prison until you are compelled to fulfill the condition. So many things. Committal proceedings can be brought against you. A man in divorce proceedings, they've ordered that you should pay for the welfare of your child. It has been established to the courts that you have capacity to pay, but you refuse to pay. You know, they can even confiscate your bank accounts. They can bring all sorts of punishments. I've witnessed one where they had to order, the man was in the civil service, one of these uniform workers was in court one of those days. They had to make an order for the maintenance and upkeep of the family to be deducted from source. So the one the salary gets to his account, he has no share. It is no share of the resources that gets to his account.
They don't really share them down for him.
Of course. So there are, you know, sometimes you find people who have been separated or in divorce suffer in silence. And pastor just say, no, go and pray for him. Go and know. That sometimes that the Lord needs to step in. Especially when the best interest of the child is priority. It is the priority in a divorce. As far as children are involved, it's a different conversation entirely. You understand? It's a different conversation entirely. So I'm sure have I answered the question.
Thank you. There is this other one I want to ask now.
Okay.
And that has to do with the consequences in the area of the children. So she will be looking into that immediately we come back from this break. This is Couple Strength.
This is the
Okay, welcome back. I'm still your host, Brad Joseph, and this is Couples Tent. Before we went for the break, we asked a sensitive question, and Barrister is here to also treat that question. And I'm sure for those of us listening to us out there, or if you are just joining, you are welcome. So you can go back. Perhaps you didn't hear what we discussed before now, so that you can actually understand better. So you can still go back and watch. But if you are just joining us now, you are welcome. So I asked a question. What are the likely implications of divorce in the life of the children? As in, how does divorce actually affect the children?
Okay, when it comes to divorce, I feel, from my experience so far, I feel children are the ones who bear the brunt the most. It throws them into a state of confusion in most cases. Because sometimes they may need, where there's both parents are separated, probably custody of the children is with the mother, and she's moving to a completely new environment. It means that you're taking them away from their friends, you're taking them away from their school, you're taking them away from their peers, you're taking them away from everything that is familiar. You're taking them into a completely new environment, for them to start afresh. From change of school, change of probably teaching style, learning style, and all of the stigma that comes with with children from separate homes among their peers. There are some parents who will not even want their children to associate with such children. They will face bullying. There's the social stigma. Sometimes it affects a lot of these children academically. They begin to decline. Because of the emotional stress that they are going through, and some of these children, they seek self-help, they find a way to help themselves. You find that sometimes they begin to be rebellious. A child that was probably, because he's been bullied, he's been called names, he's been pushed around, he's gone through this tragic breakup. Sometimes the way to survive, their own coping mechanism, sometimes they become very rebellious. You see a child that was ordinarily very normal begins to be very stubborn, talks back at either of the parents. If he is a boy, a teenage boy living with the mother, shout at the mother, talks back at the mother because the father is not even there, to offer that discipline that he's used to. So in most cases, you discover that, okay, probably living with the mother is also going through her own emotional stress. She's not trying to also pick herself up from, from the pain. And then you have these children also, on their. So sometimes it's difficult, really, really difficult for the children to put it together. Really, really difficult. You find some children who sometimes fall into the wrong company, gang as a way to cope. Become extreme, go out of hand, and all of that. Mechanism. Yes, as a coping mechanism. So there's a lot. If you would ask me, I feel that where children are involved in a marriage, it makes the divorce process a little more complicated. It makes it very complicated.
Okay, now, because now there is something to me I personally see as another divorce pattern. Now, what do I mean? You find that the situation whereby some parents, especially I've seen this more often in some women, making their children seeing their father to be not responsible, building some kind of mindset in their children. Now, the children now growing with the belief that the father is not actually responsible, the father is not actually contributing to their well-being and every other thing. So, to me, at sometimes, I see such marriage that this one is already divorced, but it's not officially, not in the official way. So, what can we also do or say towards this? Because it also affects the children. even why they think that in the marriage, they're in the family, but in another way, they are not actually, as in seeing both parties coming together. So like one is actually influencing one negatively. So what can we say regarding this one? How does it also affect the children? I see that affecting the children too.
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a very interesting question that you have asked. You may not realize how interesting it is. When it comes to domestic violence, you know, there's this presumption that is until your partner hits you, until you are being beaten, you know, you are bruised, that's when there's violence.
There's violence.
Like what you have described can fall, is a form of domestic violence. It's a psychological and emotional violence. Because that partner is manipulating other members of the family against you. And whether you like it or not, the children will have a certain behavior towards their father. You know, a certain behavior, a certain aggressive disposition, or unpleasant disposition towards the partner that is being blackmailed. You understand? So it is a form of violence. It is violence is not until you are beaten, or properties in the house are being broken, or it gets to the extreme, gets physical. There's psychological violence, you know, financial abuse, emotional abuse. So in that circumstance, I can say what is going on there. It's toxic. It's psychological abuse. It's a form of domestic violence, and necessary action needs to be taken. Like I would always say, there's no blanket answer to fit these things. When a lawyer sits down with you, or a counselor sits down with you, a trained counselor that is licensed, they usually have lawyers that they partner with. Or sometimes they have some form of, you know, idea about some basic issues around family life when it comes to the legal part of it. So in such situations, it's for the parties to seek help. The party that is being abused, you don't tolerate such level of violence, because the truth is that, just like a fowl, let me use a bird for instance, begin to pluck its feathers out one after the other, one after. By the time you defeather the bird completely, it definitely will not survive for too long. You understand? So a lot of men suffer, you know, this level of torture, continuous abuse, verbal, psychological, and you are gradually dying without knowing. And later we say, oh, the life expectancy of men is so short. But it's a form of abuse that for long in African homes in Nigeria has been swept under the carpet. But in developed countries, it's not so. You won't do that to your partner in developed and saner climes. You understand? It's not tolerated. It's one even here, the courts here in Nigeria will not tolerate. You understand? If it is properly established. So like I would say, it's on a case-by-case basis.
If it is properly established.
Yes, if it's properly established. If the partner sits down in counseling, you know, don't try to cover it. If it's affecting you, don't cover it, because the more you continue to tolerate it, it gets worse over time. And you are losing your life gradually without knowing. You understand? It places you in a very unpleasant situation. You know, it's gradually taking life out of you without you knowing. So it's an issue that should be seek professional help. Sit down with a lawyer, explain the circumstances, they'll guide you and tell you the best way to handle it. But it's not one that anybody should keep quiet. I always say to women, verbal abuse is a form of domestic violence. It's not until you hit somebody or somebody hits you. But you know women now, the moment you hit them, hey,
yes, that's all.
They are screaming. You know my gender, they are screaming at me. But all of those forms of verbal, emotional, you know, psychological, is not one that should be tolerated. No, it's a form of domestic violence, and the law recognizes it as such. Even if there's even an entire law on this issue that we are speaking, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act has made prohibition that if you subject, there's even a criminal offense for it. Yes, there's punishment for criminal offense. So you don't, some of these things that's what I always say about this church counseling. There are two sides to this coin. This person does not see that there are implications to what they are doing. They will continue to do it and think it is okay. If you grow up in a setting where you saw your mother abuse your father verbally, you know, treat him unpleasantly, and it was okay in those settings, you should understand that as at now, things have changed. There are laws that protect you both parties equally. Give proper consideration to everybody, rather than continue to, you know, endure either verbal, psychological, and other forms of domestic violence.
Okay, so now there is actually a law and punishment for such action.
Yes, Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Yes, there's a law.
Wow.
Even financial abuse. There are some men who will not want their wife to work, not because she lacks the capacity or she lacks the willingness to. As a form of control, you weaponize, to trample on the person. You understand? As to weaponize your ability to. Sometimes, I can provide. It's not always a positive thing. There are some situations where you weaponize it and begin to use it as a tool to control the person.
Okay, so now the woman can go and report.
Of course, you can take it up legally.
Okay, won't the man sees it to be an attack to his person?
No.
You're going to report him legally for the fact that it's okay, stay, enjoy, no do any work, no do this, I'm going to provide for you. But now you say, no, I don't like, I want to actually do something, I'm going to report. The man might take it personal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you just go straight into that. I told you there are stages to
there are stages to
Yes. First, they will invite the parties.
Okay.
You know, like, thank God for Lagos State and so many other states. They have a division that takes care of some of these things. To sit the parties down, offer counseling. This is the implication of what you are doing. You cannot force somebody, compel someone. Slavery has been abolished for over 200 years. You understand? Sometimes you feel, because I've paid dowry, it does not make the person your slave. You understand? It does not make the person your slave. Yes, the person is subject to your authority, should follow your leadership, but there are rules. And I would like to mention that I see this marriage of a thing, like I said earlier, it's like a coin, it's got two sides. On one side of it, I know the pastors will say it's a covenant. I agree. It's a covenant between the parties and God.
Yeah.
On the other side, is the relationship between the parties and the states. And every country or state where you reside have rules, because it knows that it will not be tolerated. So that's what we are saying. On one side, your relationship between you, your partner, and God, governed by your spiritual laws. And on the other side, your relationship between you, your partner, and the states, which is governed by the laws that we have here. So our law here is saying that you cannot force somebody to be financially dependent on you against their will. That is a form of abuse.
Wow.
Yes, financial abuse.
Just getting to hear that.
Yes.
Okay. It's getting really interesting.
Yes.
Okay, now, after the old divorce thing, the old drama, the old whatever, now, the question will come. Can the divorced partners get united again?
Yes. In many cases, they do. Yes, they do. Like I was speaking earlier, I talked about separation. It works. Sometimes, they are having issues and just step back. Go to court. Lawyers go to court. The couple wants to an order of separation. Because you cannot just desert your home. It's a problem in law. It's one they frown on.
That's separation, not divorce.
Not divorce. Okay. So I'm saying that separation works the same way for divorce. Sometimes the parties are divorced. They go separate for a while. Let me make you laugh. There was a guy I met recently was like, I divorced my first wife to marry the second. I didn't know that my first wife was a saint.
Imagine.
The one that I was even complaining about by far, but I didn't know that I was a saint. I was now laughing. I said, if you didn't make this mistake, you wouldn't have appreciated the value of none of us is perfect. We are only trying. You understand? So there are so many cases. There are instances where after divorce, the parties take. But as I would never advise divorce as a first resource.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes if you look at it and say, okay, why not just separate for a while? Let the tension calm down. And say, okay, after some years, everybody is now humble. Okay, you discover that I would not have stayed, but let's reconsider. Okay, if this and this are even after a while, after they step back for a while, reality sets in. Reality sets in. The guy now realizes that this woman, I really cannot do without her. She's been so supportive. These are the areas that she was really good at. The woman too that feels that, because I have money, I can do everything. And then you say, and then one day the bulb spoils in the house. I discover that, to climb this and replace this bulb is not small work.
That's true.
Or by 2 a.m. NEPA takes lights. You now say, if your husband was at home now, your husband would have put on this gen. You and your children will now stay inside the mosquito till they will now discover that all those little support that is not money, it goes a long way. In fact, even outweighs the financial responsibilities in the home. You understand? Reality begins to creep in. It's possible for the parties to reconsider settlements. There was one that a very senior colleague was involved in. They were separate. Okay, because in divorce, the court does not rush another divorce. They first give decree-nisi, that is, stay separate first. And when that decree-nisi elapses and they see that, okay, there's no option for reconciliation, they will now give decree absolute. That is the final dissolution of the marriage. So they give that decree-nisi. Of course, they gave, the man has access to the children, but the children were in the custody of the wife. So he could visit them, he could take them for holiday, you know, travel. His family, they have this culture, tradition that they travel for Christmas together. Is, you know, so one of those visits that was coming to drop the children and take the children off, he slept over. That's how they reconciled. When they told the lawyer, I'm going to divorce. Lawyer, we are not doing it again. I said, okay, no balance. Why you are taking my balance? Me, I don't have a problem. You know,
that's very interesting.
At the next adjourned date, they got to court. The man was pregnant too. And the judge was very happy. He just said, you will invite me for this naming. I have to be the chair of the occasion. Because this thing is my own making. To me, that's
oh, goodness me. Goodness me. So since there was actually documents, you know, I'm sure both parties they're going to sign document, divorce document. Now, since they're now reunited, now they're coming back together. So are they going to be documented? They also need to sign again, or they won't be need for document?
They have to go and marry afresh now.
Okay, they need to go and marry afresh.
They have to go and do the proceedings afresh. Yes.
Wow.
So you have to go back to the marriage registry to renew your vow.
To renew the vow.
Yes.
Oh, okay. They can't just on their own just start living together again.
No, because the court order, the divorce, has cancelled the first marriage.
Okay, the first marriage is null and
yes.
Oh, so they need to start afresh.
You need to go back. Yes. So even in customary law, like let's say native law and custom, like you do the only traditional marriage. After divorce, if you are coming back, you have to call the family together.
Together again.
Yes, you have to. You call the family together. You know, it will not be as tedious as it was the first time. But there are requirements. Every culture has their own requirements. Yes. You, if it's made, you must bring drink. You must bring goods. You apologize to the Egbe properly. It's true that they will eat, collect drink on top of you. So yeah, there will be some merriment, but it may not necessarily be like it was the first time. No, but you must formally inform the parties.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
So like you were rightly saying now, you know, the party you kept. You talk about the coin, the God side of it, and the state side of it, the government side of it. Now, that actually propped up a question inside of me now, which I will ask now. Some Christians do not like hearing that word divorce. Don't like hearing that word divorce. Now, and you see some are very okay with it. Now, I want to ask now, this divorce of a thing now, how can we balance it with the Christian principle when it talks about marriage? You know, Christian has his own principle in marriage. So how can we balance this divorce thing with Christian principle about marriage? Marriage is actually ordained by God, and God did not expect us to divorce. So this divorce thing now, so many Christians do not believe. So how can we balance it?
Well, say God does not believe in divorce, but the same God also expects us to stay alive. Say we should not die, we should live to declare the works of the Lord in the land of the living.
Yes.
Yes. So okay, like I said initially, morality and law, they usually do not agree most of sometimes.
Morality and law.
Yes. Anything religious beliefs and law, because law is factual, law is documentary, law is, you know, of course we know that the spiritual laws are in the Bible. rules have certain regulations. But like I would say, the balance which most churches have provided is that they have a trained, licensed marriage counseling team.
Okay, yeah.
Like I am a member of RCCG. I'll speak for RCCG, for instance. The head of that marriage counseling team is a very senior lawyer. The HOD of that department, is a very senior lawyer that is very experienced, has decades of experience in this field. You get my point? So I feel that the best balance that any ministry or any church can have is to have a marriage counseling team that is licensed, properly, professionally trained. You understand? And then they can then have a partnership with a lawyer.
Okay.
That from time to time we seek counseling from, so that there can be a balance. Because over the years, it appears to be very lopsided, especially in church. Because, go and pray about it, be fasting, go and trust God, let's keep trusting God. You may be dealing with a mental health situation. In many cases, you may be dealing with a chronic mental health situation without knowing. You are just there padding it with prayer and fasting. The person that is going through torture is gradually dying. So many Christian women and even men alike have lost their lives in the place of prayer and fasting. And you understand, even the scripture says we should be wise as a serpent and be harmless as a dove. As much as you are waiting in the place of prayer, you must find the balance. The Bible says, give what belongs to Caesar and give what belongs to God to God. You understand? So that balance at every point. Yes, we believe in the Bible. The church has a well-trained specialist marriage counseling team, professional counselors, not theology trained, proper professional marriage counseling. And the marriage counseling team at least has one lawyer that they can always seek counseling from. I feel that will bring a very decent balance, even though there will be a few areas where the law and the church may not align. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I think you've just done some practical justice to some of the questions we have in our mind regarding divorce. So, to our viewers out there, I will also use the opportunity to tell us, because I said I'm going to ask her, or maybe I should ask her first before I actually approach us on this. So let me ask you, is marriage a scam?
I didn't see that coming. Okay, like I used to have a professor in Uniben who said it's better to err on the side of caution. So let me stay on the side of caution. Okay, I will say no. But the challenge is that marriage is not what a lot of us thought it was. You understand? Many people had a completely different perspective about marriage, only to come into marriage proper and discover that it's an entirely different situation. And with that, I do not blame us entirely for it. I think the generation before us did not do proper mentoring in terms of family values, you understand, in terms of succession. Whether I like it or not, the children in your house are your successors.
Yes.
So the way you model and explain certain things to them, you understand, goes a long way in shaping their orientation.
That's true.
So I feel that I don't want to say it's a failure of the African culture, or the failure, because I know that there are some parents who actually do a very fantastic job.
Yeah.
So I feel that it's on a case-by-case basis. If you, like some of us, found ourselves in situations where we didn't really get the clarity of the picture because the people we were with did not think that there was a need for them to express their emotions. You understand? Grow up in certain where your parents, your father sometimes just sit down and is looking and is not explaining to you what is really going through, all of that. So it is not a scam, but it's not what a lot of us thought it was. The responsibility, the pressure, you know, the reality of the situation. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's a responsibility. It's one of grinding 247, no leave, no transfer, no break. You know, 247. Yeah. So I don't think it's a scam. It's not a scam, but it's not what a lot of us thought it was.
It was.
Yes, but there are some homes where the parents do proper mentoring.
Okay.
Yes.
So as marriage, so meaning marriage has not changed. The one we used to know and the one
there's no
we've seen,
difference.
and there's no difference.
There's no difference.
So marriage is still.
It's responsibility, it's serious work. It's not the pleasure that many of us thought.
Okay.
You know, especially people who were raised in certain circles.
Yes.
Oh, let me stay, let me not do it, let me not, you know, have fun. I'm serious and what I know that when I get married, me and my husband will do this, me and my wife will be having fun. Me and my wife so I know of us who grew up in Christian homes, oh, you cannot fornicate, you cannot do this, you cannot go to parties, you know. So you grow up with so much expectations. When I get into marriage, I'll have fun, but unfortunately, God, the almost. It's work. there's an opportunity to have fun, but the responsibility is not funny. Especially when children begin to come. You know, you discover you have this tiny human being that they've given you from the hospital. With no manual, no instruction. You have to figure it out, you know, the sleepless nights, and then the whole honeymoon phase just fades out so quickly. So that's why I also do not subscribe to being in a rush to divorce. Sometimes the teething phase, the challenges after a while die down. You understand? So I think it's that ability to, the patience, the perseverance that the older generation had, that we are beginning to lack. Yes, we are becoming more aware, we are becoming more vocal about certain things, but what of perseverance? The ability to show grace, offer grace to somebody else. You understand? So as we go to God every day, Lord, please show me mercy, show me grace. You also need to show mercy and grace to your partner.
To your partner.
Yes, sometimes, yeah.
Marriage is not a scam.
No, it's not.
So, if I dare listening to this, then you know we're actually talking to you. So many of you that think marriage is a scam. Marriage is not a scam. So I don't know if there's an orientation you need to change about your marriage. And again, I also want to tell us this. You know, sometimes some people compare their marriage to that of others. You know, begin to like look at what A is doing, look at what B is doing. I mean, trying to like use another person's balance to create a yardstick to your own balance, and forgetting one thing, that what works for A might not work for B. So get your orientation right. If you're not ready for marriage, don't go into marriage. Especially those of you that have so much baggages that you have not sorted out by yourself. Please sort out your baggages first before going to marriage. Because some of you go into marriage believing that when you enter into marriage, everything about to now be perfect. Everything you have been believing now now begin to fall into places. No way. Sort yourself out first before getting into marriage, so that you will not end up becoming so frustrated, disappointed, and I begin to say marriage is a scam. I never bargained for this, I never bargained for that. Because I was still discussing with a couple, not a couple, no, a lady, that as we speak, she actually wants to get divorced. And I began to ask her what the situation. Some of the things she said to me are like, these are things that myself and my wife we've gone through before, and we didn't divorce. You know, there's some things you begin to hear. Some even said something that his husband actually used an ATM card to access money from a bank with that unnoticed. Fine and well, it's not acceptable. You get it? But I don't think it's strong enough for you to not begin to think with this. I don't think I can go on and on with this man. I want to divorce this marriage, because that's one of the reasons she actually gave, that she can't trust her husband with her ATM.
Can I come in there?
Please do.
You know, one thing I think that's why I was laughing when you were speaking, that one thing that married people need to realize is that it's not everything, every issue that is a ground for divorce. You can approach the court and they will turn the two of you down.
In fact.
Yes, there is many instances, even some celebrities that come to court and they're like, do you think we are joking here? We don't have work to do. You understand? There are grounds for divorce. And before you can approach a court or any lawyer can approach a court for you, it's necessary that your issues must meet certain requirements.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
For instance now, ATM. Like, okay, where does this come in? Except, of course, I do not justify stealing from your partner.
Yeah.
Courtesy demands that you should make a demand if you need.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, of course, if you need, please, can you loan me X, Y, that I'll give you. Even if they don't give you on that day, please, can I give you another day? It's one thing that I respect my husband a lot for. Even if, no matter how little, I sometimes like, I'll leave it now. You understand? Let there be trust.
Among,
you know, that's the thing about this thing. Set out on this journey. Try to build trust. Try to build trust. Live your life. Be straightforward. Oh, baby, please, can I take this 1K? I need it. Please, can you borrow me? You know, make a demand. Courtesy demands that you should make a demand. But for that situation, I feel the simple counseling can solve it. Because you may just look at it as a one-off situation. But if it becomes stealing habitually, it may begin to have significant impact on the other person. So the reason why I try to chip in is that it's not every issue that qualifies for divorce. Yes, it's not everything, any little thing. Oh, because my husband does not know how to dress, then you go to court. You want to. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes when I see it is they say on social media, very frivolous. Do you think this court they don't have work that they just throw you out? You understand? So I just thought I should chip that in.
Thank you very much. So once again, thank you for joining us for this wonderful edition as we look into the issue and the reason, consequences for divorce. Now ask yourself that sincere question. What your marriage is going through now, is divorce what you need or separation? Peradventure, you need a right counsel. So I will allow her to share our Facebook and Instagram and do so that you can also reach out to her. She's good at this. I mean, trust me, she's good at it. So ask yourself that sincere question. Is it divorce or marriage need, or just separation? Or peradventure, you need a counselor that you can pour out your mind to, and he or she will not direct you on what to do and how to do it. Till come your way again. But before I go, let me give her the opportunity to share your Facebook, Instagram, and in case I want to reach out to you.
Okay, I'm on all social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Even on LinkedIn, Osarobo Enwongo-Iwok. That's Osarobo. Then Enwongo-Iwok on all social media platforms. God bless you. See you next time.
Thank you very much. Like she rightly said, see you next time. I'm still your host, Brad Joseph.
You're not alone. Come take a seat.